Monster Hunter Wilds Day 1 Review. Jumping into Monster Hunter Wilds on my PS5, the first thing I noticed was how much smoother the game ran compared to the beta, which is to be expected. The tutorial is surprisingly well paced. It's long, but doesn't feel too long or overly handholdy. Instead of dragging you through different menus and options, it kind of throws you right into the action. First thing right off the bat, it's a monster battle, which is a great way to start. Graphics and performance. Visually, Monster Hunter Wilds is crisp and clear, unlike in Monster Hunter World, which had noticeable pixelation, which makes sense given that it was on the PS4. Wilds is incredibly sharp and well defined. The environments feel alive, with sand that looks like actual sand, and the dust storms in my current area look and move like real dust storms. The colors aren't as vibrant as in World, but it seems that that's a deliberate design choice. This game leans more into the realistic tone, both in its scenery and in its monsters. The lighting and shadow adds a depth that makes every scene immersive. Performance-wise, the game runs very well on my PS5. I've had no issues with loading or technical problems. Load times are minimal, making for a seamless experience when jumping into the world or between hunts. The new mount system, the Seikrat. One of the biggest additions is the new dedicated mount, the Seikrat, a cross between a bird and a raptor. These mounts are incredibly useful, letting you escape or re-engage during combat with ease. Unlike past games where mounting was mostly about traversal, here it's an integral part of the gameplay. You can call your Seikrat at any time, even in mid-battle, which makes for a much more dynamic combat experience. It also makes exploring the world feel smoother and more natural. The Seikrat is like a mobile toolbox, giving you access to your inventory at all times. Like your Palico, it becomes an extension of your playstyle. It can be used solely for transportation, or you can incorporate it into your fighting. It makes gathering significantly easier. You don't have to dismount to collect things, and you can gather at full speed. Gone are the days of slowly walking from plant to mineral. Now resource collection feels like a natural part of exploration rather than just a tedious task. Combat and weapon mechanics. As an insect glaive main, I was unsure how the weapon would feel in Wilds, especially after struggling with its timing during the beta. But after giving it another shot, I have to say, it flows just as well as before, if not better. The changes I've noticed are fantastic. You can now collect 2 Kinsect buffs at once, rather than just one. And aiming at an enemy shows exactly which buff you're targeting. Getting that triple buff is now much smoother. Additionally, the game encourages using tools more effectively. The slinger, which I barely use in World, unless necessary, has become a vital part of my arsenal. Whether it's for quick stuns, environmental interactions, or aiding mobility, it's much more useful now. The fights are long, but they added some new mechanics. They have a wound system that helps you break off monster parts. In World, you just kept attacking the same spot and hoped you broke something off. In Wilds, the monster will have a gash in their skin, and if you attack that, you will break things off the monster and do extra damage. The combat is smoother than World. In my opinion, it's a huge improvement. World was great, don't get me wrong, but I had avoided it for so long because overall it felt clunky to me. I've not gotten that with Wilds. Once I figured out my moveset, I felt I had world interaction and gathering. Gathering has also been streamlined. You can now pick up items while riding your mount, which speeds up the process significantly. This makes hunting and exploring feel more fluid, as you no longer need to stop constantly to collect resources. The game rewards players who use their tools and environment wisely, making every moment feel engaging. This game seems more alive than World as well. While World was great at having a lot of wildlife, it felt more static. This game feels like the world is dynamic and real. Your Palico companion. You have a Palico companion again, but this time they talk. In World, they would talk with just a line of text, but now they're fully voiced. This adds a layer of immersion. When your Palico calls out to you, you hear them, and you can detect the inflection of their mood in their voice. While I enjoyed their utility in World, now they feel like a true travel companion with a personality rather than just a helpful AI. Final thoughts. Overall, whether you're a veteran, hunter, or new to the franchise, Monster Hunter Wilds delivers an exciting and accessible experience. The combat is fluid, the new mechanics feel well integrated, and the world itself is immersive and stunning. I can see myself playing this for the foreseeable future, and I'm eager to hunt as many monsters as I can. I think that this is a great improvement over Monster Hunter World. It is a very different game than Rise, which is why I don't draw much of a comparison. If you enjoyed Monster Hunter World, you'll likely love Wilds. It refines what made the series great while introducing enough new elements to keep things fresh. For new players, the tutorial and mechanics make it easier than ever to jump in without feeling overwhelmed. I'm excited to see what the late game holds and what kind of monsters and environments will come next. Happy hunting, and I hope to see you out in the wilds.